Hello friends I made this for. It's been a while, but I'm back with another reading. If you've never been here before, hi, my name is Lauren. I am an artist, art teacher, and art ritual facilitator here in PA. And if you like hearing some readings or talking about astrology through the tarot and, other hot girl shit like that, make sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Share this with someone you love, hate, and or lust after. So, today is the new moon in Aries. Let me just, the hair is growing out. She's looking cute, but she just is a little rowdy. So Aries season started yesterday on the 20th. That was our spring equinox. And so now it's time for a little dark moon reading. So Aries is the initiator of our astrological wheel, and because of that, there's a lot of energy of beginning. This is also the first cardinal energy of the zodiacal wheel. So we get a good jump start with this sign, giving us that fire, that spark of life, that energy. And of course, if you're wanting to connect with Aries more, check out the Emperor within your tarot deck to get some more insight on what this energy can teach us and kind of tap into. And of course, I'll try and link at the end of this video my my last look at Aries through the tarot, which if you're a returning subscriber, you already know is the thing I like to do, but because I'm back in school, videos are few and far between. So let's go. So, let's begin this reading. So dark moons are usually a good time for planting seeds, right? What is a new intention that we can collective? Again, this is all collective. This is not for any one sign or any one duality. This is for elements. These sometimes jingle, and I like it. There we go. What is an intention we can collectively tap into for this dark moon? I don't read jumpers, don't ask. I have a video on that too. Oh, just kidding. Six of Swords. So an intention that we can be collectively tapping into right now is traversing the darkest parts of our minds for liberation. Moving past the waters of fear into the waters of truth. Moving through heavy emotions, even if we can't see what is in front of us. Trusting that those guides, those supporters, those friends and family that we have can help steer us through the night, as it were. So why do I say that? When we see the Six of Swords, we see these two people in like a gondola sort of thing, and their view is being blocked by many swords, the six swords in front of them. They're on the water, and this person is moving them through. Now, there's a few ways we can look at this. We can be this one who is leading the gondola, and this can be our like inner child and our inner child work that we are having to orient and help traverse through. Or we can see ourselves as the two that are in the boat and this person as our guides. So either way, we are leaning into a level of trust because bitches, we are in a boat. And when we are talking about swords, a lot of it is the mental gymnastics that we put ourselves through and have to orient through in order to understand and feel our ultimate knowing. Sometimes that means making friends with even our bad thoughts, with our dark thoughts, our thoughts that can be a little overwhelming and a little dark, right? If you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. But sometimes we get sad. We get sad. And sometimes our mind is not very nice. And that's okay. Because nothing lasts forever, not even big feelings, right? So the intention for this dark moon might be to connect to a level of trust, whether that be through our guides, through our life companions, or just ourselves. Learn to trust the heart, learn to trust the body, learn to trust how you feel, and understand that not everything is real that we feel. However, we don't have to gaslight ourselves into believing that what we feel doesn't matter. No gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss here, babes. So, let's continue. What is the mental rivers of the mind that we are having to cross right now? What are the mental rivers of the mind that we are having to cross right now? Collectively. The Empress. What comes up immediately for me is the validity of us taking up space. Look at her. Look at them. This bitch don't give a fuck what anybody says. Taking up space, wearing the big moo-moo, not giving a fuck. Putting the stars in her crown, in their crown, his crown, our crown, and saying, I am valid. I am allowed to take up space. I am allowed to receive. I am allowed to take up the room. I am allowed to be passionate about what I care about. So anything that's coming up around now might have to be with, do we have the validity? Do we have the gall? Do we have the right? And the answer is yes. As an existing human being who gives a shit about fucking shit, yes. You have the right to take up space and be passionate about what matters to you. To create something that is of purpose to you. To make space for what you value. This is also Venus being our values. So a little thing you might want to do is connect to your chart as I say this and think about what is your Venus in and what does that mean? Your value system. What does that look like in your chart? Because seeing this in relation to this, how the rivers we are traversing right now in our minds relate to our values and how we express those and make space for those so that we can receive what we need in order to support those things. Now, receiving is not easy for all of us. So that's an important thing to remember. You might be the giving type. You might be the fucking giving tree. And see how that turned out? Big warning. Don't give to everyone all the time. You need to rest. You need to sometimes be the receiver of good shit. So this is a good card to remind us of our values, our passionate things that we take up space. And sometimes people want us to not take up that space. Sometimes people think we're being too much. And sometimes we are. If I were to say to you, you're never too much, that would be a fucking lie. Because I know I can be too fucking much. Woo woo. But take a step back and think about what is valuable to you and what are you deserving of baseline? This isn't a trick question. What are you deserving of baseline as a human being? And how does that relate to things that matter to you? Because you deserve to take up space in certain areas that you might be really second guessing right now. Or you might be playing small or giving too much and second guessing whether or not you have any right to receive. Maybe you are worried about making other people feel uncomfortable, and so you're reeling it in when you do have needs that require giving to. And that's not fucking stupid. That's not fucking dumb. But it's about really making space for that in a way that is supportive for more than just yourself, right? Because ultimately we can't just be focused on my needs, and my needs. It's also about what helps me and what helps the collective, what helps me be a better team player. Like, we gotta gauge all things, right? Right? We do have to gauge what our values are and how to properly develop those in a way that we support ourselves and others. And when we think about Venus, again, pull out your fucking chart and look at where your Venus is so that you can kind of get an idea of, okay, what am I playing small for? What am I worried about? And what am I deserving of? Because that's this is the playbook I'm seeing. Bless me and bless you. The Empress is reminding us that we are also very fertile people when it comes to ideas and creation. It doesn't have to just be making babies, babes. Sometimes it's about what is the projects that we are putting together that maybe we're second guessing. Because Aries can be very creative fire. Bitches be knowing that. Bitches be do. So for this last card, if the Six of Swords is telling us that we're really traversing a delicate part of our mind, and the Empress is telling us to really evaluate our values and what we are looking to create. For our last card, let's just think about what is the medicine to support what these two are telling us. Queen of Cups. Now, some people like to see this as other people outside of you. I am not one of those people, so use as you choose what I'm about to say. Cups has to do with emotions and subconscious and the heart, really digging down deep. And so when we're talking about the heady waters that we're going through and really thinking about our values and what that means, this card comes as a reminder that sitting in the heart and really sitting with that is such a superpower. Sometimes I see the court cards around the cups, really, to me, and this has been a more recent thing, something that comes up for me, tarot is personal, so use as you choose, is emotional intelligence. And so the Queen of Cups comes to us as a reminder of deepening our connection to our own emotional intelligence. What does that mean? That means being aware of our emotions and the emotions of others and how to gauge appropriately the responses that are needed in those situations. So emotional intelligence looks very different day-to-day, situation to situation, and person to person, right? But how do we use discernment in the heart? That's using our emotional intelligence. Discernment in the heart means sitting with how we feel and really sitting with it without ruminating on it, without making it a negative or a positive thing, without thinking like this is all bad or this is all good. Like tempering our expectations and understanding where things are coming from rather than dismissing them. Because let me tell you what, emotional intelligence is so fucking needed right now. And that means being able to sit with how we feel before acting. That means really being able to understand where is this feeling coming from before doing something, just out of left field, right? So in this dark moon, an invitation here is to sit with where we are in our mind, where we are confused or feeling very like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the next moves. Or maybe you do, but you just don't know what the next step is going to look like, even though you know what you have to do. What's going to be important is, in this evaluation process of this dark moon, is to really think. Yes, queen. Think about what is your values, what are you trying to creating, what are you wanting to make more space for, and focusing more on that than necessarily the day-to-day, like, I am feeling bogged down and don't know, like, the swords are clouding me. A certain level of trust is going to be asked of you, and that doesn't mean mindlessly giving up that trust. That means sitting with how you feel. How you feel is not always the definitive end-all be-all. Yes, I understand that. But it is an important place we can start in order to begin evaluating what is important to us, what are our values, and why do we have those values? Sometimes we have to think about, why do I believe this? Why do I want this? Sometimes when we stop and start thinking about evaluating just a little bit more, then we can start doing this shit right. By sitting with and evaluating, making space for how we feel, making space for, I'm processing. I'm processing because I want to focus on what matters in my life. Not just the day-to-day, I don't know where I'm going. Like, I've got big fucking dreams and plans and goals. And with this dark moon, planting around how you feel and harnessing that energy rather than dismissing it or using it right off the bat and doing things that might not serve you long-term is going to keep you here, where you are just having to fly by the seat of your pants and trust. And listen, I'm not telling you not to trust, but I am saying there is power in mastering emotional intelligence in order to support you better. Sitting with how you feel and processing, journaling before you send that text. Journaling before you say someone, I'm cutting you off forever because my values are this, right? Not to say that you don't have to, or you can't do that. That's my cat, by the way. She just came in. But that's just something we gotta think about, is how does that look different? Of course, she has to come in here and make noises. Sitting on that bubble mailer making you feel better? Sometimes we have to process so that we can really live our truth in alignment with our values. And then we can give up to trust, right? So that's my feedback. That's my thoughts, feelings, and my reading for this dark moon. If you found this supportive, let me know down below. Share this again if you find it interesting. Of course, I have links in my link tree to all sorts of things, including a podcast. So if you like art and spirituality, I talk to artists every month around just that. And with that said, I hope you are drinking lots of water, lots of tea, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.